Kumar. I am working as an open source developer in ChipKit for past 5 months. Now I am going to talk about item renderer. Here I am using item renderer for the tree controls. It is always specifies the single renderer for all nodes of the tree, and it always responsible for handling the display of the entire node, including the text and icon. And for it has the subclass which has the default item renderer class and tree item renderer class as well. And for the user, they can modify the item renderer depend upon the application. I am using ActionScript file to support the main file, and for it I am using package which has the import controls for tree classes and for the collections. And I am using a public class which has the my tree item renderer. This is the file name, has to be that same name as in public class as well. It extends the tree item renderer which has the function my tree item renderer which has a super, every base class will be get, so that's the quality of the super class. And for it always override public function. It has a set data for value and for the object as well, and it also super dot data which is the exact data and base data will be get for the values. And if it is tree list data, that super dot list data has children, which is the tree nodes and item renderers will support it. And for it that I am giving set style as color and for the font weight as well, and otherwise I am using other colors for else function I am using here. And I am using another override which is now for the protected function, which is for update display list for unscaled width for the unscaled height. And for the super class I am using here for update display list as well to get the exact data. And for it I am using here another if function which has the super dot data, that data has to get from the main function we are going to see in here. And for the if tree list data, which also the super dot list data, and it also has the children. For the variable it gets tmp.xml list, and which is the XML list as tree list data, which is the super dot list data. It has the item as well. And I am using here another variable for string which has the children and for the length. And here that labels has to be get, so I am using super dot which is the text, and it also the tree list data and for the label and my string as well. Now we are going to see the main file which has the initialize init for collections, and within the script I am using data which has the collections, and for the variable this is exactly what I am talking in the ActionScript file using an XML branch XML list. This is the labels and which has the containers, divided box classes, like that every data will be get. And for that I am using another variable which has the balance as XML list collection, and for the private function as well I am using init collections. This collections is calling here that initialize, and using for the new XML list collection. And for the text which has the 400, and I am using text as the nodes with children are in bold red text which are going to see in the output, and I am using here as tree which has the ID as com balance. For the data provided that XLC balance, this XML list collection has to be called, so I am using here. And for the label field at label, and the item renderer I am using here the ActionScript file, which is this file has to be get. Now we are going to see the output. Based on the support of this, that color we use this red color, and I am using this text. I am already say that nodes with children are like that nodes will extend it. This says that item renderer is used in very effective manner. Thank you friends. If you have any queries, please contact my blog mkumar.wordpress.com. Otherwise you can mail to my mail id s.mkumar@gmail.com. Thank you.